Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I want to talk about Jack Catterall because I think the fight with Prograis at the weekend kind of illustrated that although Jack is very effective at what he does, and although he is a very good world-class fighter, he's infuriating to watch. And what do I mean by that? Well, the first 2-3 rounds of the fight with Prograis, I'm sitting there thinking, Christ, this is boring. Are we going to have this for 12 rounds? Because Jack, extremely cautious, extremely sort of reticent to get involved, turning the whole thing into a chess match, jabbing. I mean, he's a southpaw anyway, you know. So, and he's in against the southpaw, so they do say don't match southpaws with southpaws because you get a boring fight. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, but on this occasion, at the start, for the first few rounds, it was accurate. I mean, Prograis was desperately trying to come forward, doing those stutter steps, you know, and jumping in, moving forward. Jack completely on the back foot, not necessarily running. I wouldn't say he was running, but there was definitely, he was looking to counter. He was looking to be precise. He was extremely conservative in his attitude and his output. And I'm sitting there thinking for the first few rounds, this is going to be turgid. This is going to be another Catterall versus O'Hara Davies sort of fight, you know, which was one of the worst fights you could possibly see, well, certainly in the last 10 years. And then gradually, as Prograis got closer, you were thinking, okay, so Prograis kind of, maybe Jack has been turned this into too much of a chess match. Maybe he's allowing Prograis to gain a bit of momentum, a bit of confidence. Excuse me. Getting closer. Maybe this is coming back to bite him in the arse. He's been too reserved. And here comes, you know, Prograis, and sure enough, in the fifth round, there was a flash knockdown, and you're thinking, you know, do you know what? I'm kind of glad that Prograis is on the front foot. I'm glad he's having success because Catterall had turned this into such a boring safety-first match that I don't want the guy to. Even though I'm UK, I support UK fighters normally. Nothing against Prograis, nothing against anyone. I want the right man to win. If a foreign fighter comes to Britain and gets robbed, I'm not happy, you know. But obviously, as a UK guy from the UK, as an Englishman, I support UK fighters, you know. I want them to win, deservedly win. But then, in the second half of the fight, from the middle rounds onwards, suddenly Jack starts to get a bit nasty. And he starts to let his hands go a bit more. And he's more front-footed. And yes, he's still counter-punching. But it's almost like he thought, okay, time to go to work. You know, I've done my little chess match thing. I've done the fencing, you know, where I'm trying to counter, where I'm trying to keep the guy on the end of a string, you know. And I've got a knockdown. Yeah, I need to do something proactive now. And suddenly, you know, well, I say suddenly, but during the middle rounds, you know, he became more proactive. His output increased. He used that sharpness, which he definitely has, you know, the threading of punches through the other guy's defense, keeping the guy honest with some, you know, some really. When Jack lets his hands go, there's these sort of, it's kind of laser-like, you know. It hones in on the opponent through the guard, around the corners, bit of body work here and there. He doesn't do enough of it, not nearly enough of it, of any of those things, in my opinion. But when he does let his hands go, Jack's got a bit of spite to him. And sure enough, in the ninth round, you know, 2 knockdowns against Prograis, who's a tough guy, has always shown a good chin. And suddenly he's beating up Prograis and he's threatening to stop him. And you're sitting there thinking, where the hell was this guy in the first half of the fight? And he actually turns the screws on Prograis, who, again, you know, a 2-time world champ. I know he's seen better days. He retired after this fight, which says he has. We'll see. But Jack is looking really good in the last 5 rounds. Certainly as the fight goes on, and he's got a great engine, there's no problem with the stamina. I mean, okay, he's reserved a lot of energy in the first half of the fight. And by the way, he was picking up rounds in the first half of the fight as well. It's just that he was doing it in such a conservatively boring, safety-first manner that it's not entertaining. When he lets his hands go in the second half of the fight, certainly the last third of the fight, letting his hands go, putting Prograis on the floor, showing power. I think Jack Catterall has very underrated power. Don't forget he floored Josh Taylor in their first fight. I think when he lets his hands go, he looks good. He looks like a real world-class threat. Now, there's talk of him, or I think Eddie Hearn mentioned trying to bring Teofimo Lopez over to Britain. I don't think that would happen. And I don't think it would happen for the simple reason that, if you look at Lopez's previous performances, I'm thinking of the Sandor Martin one in particular. He struggles with crafty boxers. And Jack Catterall is a very crafty boxer, a very skillful, extremely skillful boxer. It is not entertaining to watch a lot of the time. In fact, it's outright dull. But he's extremely good at diffusing a bomb in front of him. And Lopez is a potential bomb because we know that offensively he's terrific. He can be terrific. He's very erratic. I think his performances have been erratic over the last several years, but he's a threat, a big threat. And I don't think that it's Top Rank, I think, promote Lopez, don't they? Yeah. I don't think Bob Arum and Top Rank would let Lopez anywhere near Jack Catterall. Even if Catterall came to the United States, and Hearn likes to think of himself as being an international star, promotional star. He's always saying, Matchroom is an international, global promoter. Even if he took Catterall over there to fight Lopez, I don't think Lopez would want it. I don't think his team would want it. I don't think Bob Arum would want it. Because Catterall, but there again, you can say that about anyone. Who wants to fight Jack Catterall? He's not a big ticket seller. He's not excited to watch for long periods of his fights. But he's extremely effective. So we're back to the old line about, the who needs him club, Yeah, but I do find him, like a lot of people, I do find Jack Catterall very infuriating to watch because he's got that ability. He's got some real skills, and yet a lot of the time he's not even showing them. He's not even trying to show them. An infuriating fighter in my opinion, but there we are. What do you think of Catterall? Let me know your opinions. Please, comments below. And if you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. That would be brilliant. Thank you very much for that. And also the like button. Click the like button because it helps the channel out as well. I do appreciate your time watching the video. I hope you liked it. And I will speak to you all soon. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy yourselves. Bye for now.